I caught a buck. I caught a little buck. Hi, we're Art and Bree. 4 years ago, we left the city to buy a 100-year-old farm to turn it into our own productive homestead where we can grow our own food, build a healthy life, and raise our kids just how we like. If you want to join us in our homesteading adventure on our small farm, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hey, look, the zombie buck's out there again.
Zombie deer.
Look.
Go.
See him?
Yeah.
He's right.
I see him.
He's right over there.
I know.
No, look, right there. You don't believe me? He's right in front of you.
He's a nuisance. I know it seems like all ethereal and magical that there's like deer that we can just walk up to. It's not.
It's not. It's dangerous.
They're aggressive. They get aggressive with our children. Our children don't feel comfortable going outside and just playing, which is very challenging for children who basically have lived outside their whole life.
I'm tempted to take him out right now. I hate to do it. He just like, he did nothing wrong. Someone did him a big misservice.
I wish this was like this beautiful thing, but unfortunately it's not, because this deer, this buck, is still a wild animal and will use his antlers on my kids and on me because he's tried. And it's not beautiful to tame a wild animal and then leave it to roam free around a neighborhood.
I'm gonna go chase him off for now. I caught a buck. I caught a little buck. He's not a very big one, but he's a... All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Go. Shep doesn't even know what to do with him. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. There he is. Okay, chore time. Okay, so the backstory. The kids call that deer the zombie deer because he's quite tame and he just like, he kind of just stands there. And the reason he looks funny is because he's rutting. This is like the imperfect ingredients for a little challenge, which is apparently there's this tame deer up there. Someone's probably raised it by hand, and I know more than that, but I'm not gonna say more than that. And we moved up right as the rut is hitting. And the rut is like when you see Braveheart, you remember how crazy he gets? This little so the rut's hitting, and the dangerous thing is you have a deer that should be afraid of you rutting, and it's not a good combination. I'm trying to make a good decision on this. Right now our operation is just, the kids aren't playing outside up there. There's not a lot of space to play up there, and a lot of times they're playing down here, like right now. Justice and Brighton are playing down here while the others do school up at the house. I kind of see three solutions to this that I can choose from, but the three solutions I see are, I could take care of this quietly within the law. The second option is I could go to like game enforcement. And the third option is I could get a paintball gun, or you know, something else that's one step up from throwing rocks, a real good slingshot, which I don't have, and just give a little incentive to like steer clear. I do think I need to take one of those actions, and the third would definitely be kind of the most low impact. Often I say, I'll let you know how that turns out, but honestly in this situation, I probably won't let you know how it turns out. And honestly, like when it comes down to it, what would be the best option? The best option would be, if you're gonna raise a deer, and I'm not even speaking to legality or anything like that, or recommending it, but you have to develop a plan to wild the deer. Pet deer, not cool. Not cool at all. And that's what we're dealing with. It reminds me of this old nature show on PBS. You may remember it. Marty Stauffer, he raises a bear at one point. He hand raises this bear. At the end of the run, it was an orphan bear, and at the end of the run, he has to hurt the bear, physically inflicted pain on the bear, associated it with him, so the bear would like actually leave and go far out into the wilderness. Yeah. What'd you say?
There's an alien out there.
What kind?
One cat alien.
Oh, an alien. There's an alien out there. I was like, oh no, another zombie. Oh, just an alien. Don't worry about it. You're safe. I know some of y'all are probably thinking, like, Shep was there. Is he just totally useless? Well, he is. He's useless. Are you useless when it comes to that deer? Yeah, you don't know what to do with them. Shep does chase deer, feeding the pigs. What you have to realize, though, is in order to chase the deer has to run. And if said deer perhaps was raised around dogs and has zero fear of dogs, what's Shep gonna do? Is he gonna come up and kill him? No. The dog's not gonna kill the deer, just standing there staring him in the eyes. It's kind of a parallel to how most dogs won't actually attack you, but when they have something that adds to their prey drive, like you running or them being in a pack, sometimes they will attack you. I had this one experience when I was probably 19 where I was riding my bike down the road. These two big pit bulls came running down the road. They obviously had escaped. A big white pit bull and a big brown pit bull. And they came for me. They pinned me against this fence and I had my bike just warding them off with my bike. And I was yelling and yelling and yelling, growling, snarling. Eventually they left, but they were thinking about eating me at that point. The real problem here though is not aggression, it's confusion of identity. I'll explain that to you. I actually feel pretty safe about this bull. Step back, step back. If I go like this, hey, 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 he hears that. Just put an arm up. That's not to say he couldn't become dangerous, and bulls do hurt people. But I've been reading a book by Temple Grandin. One of y'all sent it to me actually, thank you. And it's really given me a lot of insight. Namely that the most aggressive bull is the bull that was raised by hand and has an identity confusion. It's a bull who's confused whether he's a cow or a human, and he treats humans as animal peers. So on that front, actually this guy has potential to be dangerous because he's not afraid of us. He does come up to us. He will like lick your fingers, bite your fingers, and that could turn into something dangerous. So we watch that closely. What you doing? Did you bake a train?
Yeah.
How cool. Come on, let's go. Let's bring Mama her cheese grater. She needs it. Thank you.
Done.
School's done. It is such a beautiful day and we have been inside all day. You know, I do love the rental house and I have zero complaints, but it has been a lot harder to be outside, and it gives me so much compassion for people who don't have big outside areas. And we actually do here, but the kids have been afraid because of the zombie deer. And I can really see it affecting their moods and their energy levels, and meaning their crazy energy levels because they're not going outside. So I'm hoping we can solve that problem very soon because I want the kids to be able to just go explore. Okay, and while I have a few minutes between things, I'm gonna make dinner. I love getting dinner made early so that the rest of my afternoon is just free to do more work or to play with the kids. And actually this afternoon, we're gonna do a fun craft, though I'm tempted to just cancel the craft and go outside. I have to go down to our storage and get an onion. This is gonna be such a yummy meal. We are having broccoli and cheddar soup. Do you need the cheese grater?
Yeah.
Where did it go? Daddy just brought it up here. I would do the pepper jack since we're low on cheddar. The chicken was raised by our friends, but we help butcher it. So it's homemade broth, homegrown onions, homegrown broccoli, store-bought cheese, but I've been buying this really delicious organic cheese in bulk, 5-pound blocks, so it's a lot cheaper. I don't have all of my kitchen stuff up here yet. Gorgeous onion. One thing I love about the Instant Pot is that you can saute in it and then cook what you're gonna cook, and sauteing things before you cook them just brings the flavor out. These onions will be kind of sweeter. They won't be caramelized. That's usually at a super high heat. These will just be sauteed till they're translucent, and then we'll add in all the ingredients. My beautiful homegrown broccoli. And remember, I did an experiment where I did not blanch my broccoli. The only thing is next year I want to vacuum seal it rather than just putting it in a freezer bag. Otherwise, the flavor is fine. It has really been just fine to freeze the broccoli without blanching it. Now I'm literally just gonna put it in there for 10 minutes. Now I'm gonna prep the rest of dinner. Peach cobbler going in the oven. I like my peach cobbler, or any fruit cobbler, heavy on fruit with a nice bready rim. I don't know about you guys, some people like way more bread and less fruit, but I like how the fruit like kind of makes it underdone in the middle, but then the edges are super crispy. It's gonna be perfect. You add the cheese after it's all done. Otherwise in your Instant Pot, it will actually not cook right. It'll say like that it's burning. And the immersion blender is your best friend when making like creamy soups like this. Potato soup, whatever. Because then you don't have to use your food processor or your blender.
I've got a little while this afternoon. Not too long, but I want to just get back in and work on finishing the floor in this room. I don't like leaving these incomplete pieces. So I want to finish this floor before I move on to something else. And if you're new to the channel, we're gutting our house because we found mold in it. It was making our kids sick. And then after that floor, and now that the piano's out of this room, I can tear this room out. I'm hoping to do this room, walls and ceilings, in a day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And then after that's done, the house will be 3/4 gutted on the interior, minus some work on the floors that I have to do. I am really making progress, even though it feels like it's slow motion to me. That's pretty moldy. I got done what I set out to do. Finished knocking this floor out. Still have a little cleanup to do, but I'm happy with that. Now I've just got to reach over and shut up the lights. Yeah. There we go. And that is how much material is in one little floor system in that little room. It's a small mountain.
There's a doe. I don't know if you can see her right there. Not a zombie though. You can tell when you yell at them, if they pop their heads up and just look like wide-eyed and then they run off. Not zombies. There's an easy tip for you for the zombie apocalypse. The deer zombie apocalypse. I'm home.
Where was you, Daddy?
I was down working on the house.
Yeah.
Down the hill at our little farm. Where was you?
I was right here in here.
What's cooking good looking?
My broccoli soup.
My little bird told me that you had a conversation with someone who may or may not have basically a pet deer or a tame deer in their semi-possession. This isn't a pet deer. It's basically a very tame deer.
It's a tame wild deer.
And there's a lot of complexity to this we're not going to explain to you. Long story short though, the people who have some association with this deer, they came by the house earlier and asked us if the buck was giving us trouble. And they actually know it is because
They saw it happen the other day.
Yeah, it was coming after Justice the other day and they came out
to protect him.
To protect Justice. So they know that there's trouble basically. So they stopped by to talk it over and Bree, very appropriately, just told them exactly what she thought, very calmly and kindly.
The people who don't want to see a problem, it doesn't matter how calm and kind you are, if they don't want to see the problem, they will turn it back into your responsibility. As they will do anything to shirk responsibility for what's happening.
But it was a good conversation because I think you said your piece. We didn't intend to have a conversation with them yet.
No.
But actually it turned out maybe for the better because they're going to take some action to restrain the non-pet deer?
I'm still kind of shaking. I'm not afraid of conflict, but I've had conversations with these people in the past, and I already knew that they would deny that this was a problem. They tried to tell me that it was my fault for moving across the street from them. They tried to tell me that we needed to put up a fence and I needed to control my children. I was like, well, the buck comes on the porch, so I'm not really sure what you mean about that. They said that what was I doing moving to the country? I was like, deer should be afraid of people. So anyway, I do feel like I was able to stay calm and be very clear and draw some pretty strong boundaries, and also continue to put the responsibility on them that this needed to be resolved.
And we have backup plans if that doesn't work out. And technically what they're doing now isn't illegal, because feeding a deer is not illegal. It's technically not. Like, I can actually feed deer. You can feed deer on your land.
And I also just have a really strong belief in trying to, even if you can't be friends with your neighbors, be at peace with them.
Yeah.
But still
Agreed.
have boundaries. So, I'm not saying that we wouldn't take legal action or won't if this isn't resolved, because it's a safety issue, a big one. But if we can work this out through conversation and through communication, I would much prefer that.
I agree with what you're saying. Legal action, I don't think it would be legal action. We're talking about just like involving the wildlife service.
Yeah,
to
that's what I mean.
Basically say like, hey, this isn't working out, or come remove the deer. If I called the sheriff's department, the sheriff, and said, hey, what do you think? You know what he'd say?
Shoot it.
He'd say, shoot it.
Yeah. So here's the
But
thing.
that's it, period, done.
Here's the thing though, I know a lot of people are like, why don't you just shoot it? And then a lot of you are like, no, don't shoot it. But to the people who are saying, just shoot it, these are our neighbors.
Yeah.
And so we're not callous. We care for them.
And our kids are safe. We're since like that first incident when the deer came over and got the name, the zombie deer, and the kids named him that because the way he acts. Since he came over that first day, like, we've been vigilant with the kids in the yard. You remember the deer's name?
Okay, I think she said it was kamikaze.
No! Are you serious?
What?
If the deer's name is kamikaze, that's like could be prophetic.
The buck. I want to call it a buck because it has antlers.
That's not what its name is, though.
What did she say it was? Oh, bullseye. Let's start out.
Bullseye? That's even crazier. The
How would
deer's
you
name
name
is
a deer
Bullseye?
bullseye? Where did I get kamikaze?
It all matches and makes sense. Whether his name is kamikaze or Bullseye.
I mean, the funniest, weirdest, strangest part of this is like, you need to control your children. And that's why we felt like possibly having a conversation may not be productive. But they did respond, and we'll see.
Do you think it's okay to make this video?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, thanks for joining us for this unique and interesting adventure. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.